All right, hey, welcome back to Ducks Hockey and More. This video, we're going to be talking about the NHL playoffs and the playoff picture. As of right now, it's March 11th, Saturday. This video may be coming out Sunday or Monday, but it is Saturday today. And I want to talk about the current playoff picture and where teams stand. So let's talk about it. Stick around. All right, so hey, welcome back. Ducks Hockey and More coming at you. We're going to do an NHL playoff picture video, okay? Now that the trade deadline's over, the smoke has cleared, right? New players, new teams settling in, getting used to their team. Some are doing very well. They're off to great starts. Some are having struggles, obviously, which is normal. It takes a while sometimes. But where do the teams sit right now? Eastern Conference, Western Conference, and all the different divisions. That's kind of what I want to get into. And so let's just dive right into the Eastern Conference and go over some of the teams and where they sit. So in the Atlantic, obviously, okay, the Atlantic Division, Boston Bruins. What do you say? You know, Boston's been the best team from the get-go. They are content. They are still the best number one team in the NHL. They're sitting at 103 points. And rolling. They won the trade deadline, if you will. They definitely came out. They were already the best team. They are even better. I mean, I don't know how you could do that, but they did. So they're just rolling, guys. I mean, they are probably hands down the favorite to win the Stanley Cup right now. It'll be interesting to see if they can carry. I've talked about it before. Okay, real quick. Let's just the regular season is just a race to get to the playoffs. Once you get there, the season starts over. Now it becomes go time, right? Doesn't matter. I don't care what position you sit in. Obviously, you want home ice advantage by being one of the top teams, but I don't care, right? It's just about getting there. Once you're there, it starts over, and any team can win. It really is. It's so cool to watch, and it's nice to see some of those underdog wildcard teams take out those top teams. But this is the race to get there. But going back, Boston Bruins, they're obviously well in there. They are the team to beat. And, injury-wise, they're doing just fine. They're healthy. They're producing. I mean, Ullmark is the front runner to get the Vezina. They're the President. They're going to be, they're one of those teams that I'll be really surprised if any team knocks Boston off. Boston, if they continue to play this well, will be in the Stanley Cup final. They have to. I just can't see it. I mean, maybe Carolina can try to get in there and, make some noise because they are probably the second best team in the NHL, and maybe it'll come down to those two in the East probably, but we'll see. Anyways, Boston's leading the Atlantic, 103 points. Now, way behind them, second in that division, are the Toronto Maple Leafs, 86 points. Okay. Recently, the Toronto Maple Leafs lost Ryan O'Reilly, to an injury. So the guy just got there, and now he's injured. So and I just thought of it too. I did a NHL news update video, and I talked about some of the major injuries, and I forgot completely about the Ryan O'Reilly injury until this one. But either way, Ryan O'Reilly's injured. So hopefully that doesn't hurt them too much. He is expected to be back by the time the playoffs start to get going, or maybe a little bit before. Something to do with his finger, I believe. He had. I think that's what it was. Don't quote me on that, but doesn't matter. The Toronto Maple Leafs, they will do fine. They've got a lot of new players. Ryan O'Reilly's not the only one. They've added quite a bit. I don't see them falling apart. But Toronto, 86 points as of right now. Just behind them are the Tampa Bay Lightning with 82 points. Now, Tampa has been struggling as of late. They should be up there with Toronto or better right now with the way they were playing. And then all of a sudden they started to kind of just lose some games. And it's like, what happened in Tampa? Not sure what's going on. I know there was I didn't watch the game, but I did read that John Cooper, the coach in Tampa, benched, I think, Stamkos. And another player, I forget who it was, but either way, benched him and said, you guys aren't doing enough. Basically trying to send a message to those players specifically and to the team that you better pick up your game, better get going. And there was a game the other night, getting off subject a little bit here, Tampa against, who was it? Can't think of it now, but it was a Tampa game where it was a huge brawl. That was awesome. I love watching those types of hockey fights, and I saw one of my favorite players, former Anaheim Duck, Corey Perry, was in the middle of that, getting crazy. But that was interesting to see. Tampa getting fired up. So there's your top three teams in the Atlantic. In the Metro Division, you've got obviously the Carolina Hurricanes. They are at 94 points right now, sitting atop the Metro, but only 4 points behind them are the New Jersey Devils. So New Jersey, with newly acquired Timo Meier, making a push as they have been all year. Jesper Bratt, Timo Meier now. You got Hughes over there. Dougie Hamilton. They've got some really good players, and they're playing very well. So go Devils. They're kind of that team in the East that I hope makes it far, and upsets the teams above them. I really hope New Jersey goes far. 90 points for New Jersey. New York Rangers are the next one down. They're 9 points behind New Jersey with 81. So New York's been a little bit struggling. The Tarasenko, Patrick Kane. Patrick Kane had his first goal as a New York Ranger recently, but they haven't kind of got really going and moving so that they could try to catch the Devils. So they're kind of hanging in there in that third spot in the Metro. Wild card teams. New York Islanders and the Pittsburgh Penguins are current wild card teams in the East. The Islanders have 76 points. Penguins have 74. I had a feeling, and in a video I talked about it, how I thought maybe Detroit, maybe the Buffalo Sabres can come up and take out like a Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, Pittsburgh started to turn it around and play much better as of late, so they're still in that wild card spot. And Florida's coming on strong. So listen to this, okay? So Florida has 72 points. They're only 2 points back of Pittsburgh right now. So we're close. Ottawa, 70 points. So they're only 4 points back of that last wild card spot. So those two teams are trying to get in. Ottawa just acquired Jacob Chychrun. They're making their move. Now I know that Cam Talbot, the goalie, has gone down recently. So hopefully that doesn't hurt Ottawa too much, but it may. But hopefully Ottawa gets in. It's a team that I'd love to see squeak in. That would be so cool to see the Ottawa Senators squeak in. Florida's been playing extremely well as of late, and they're making their push too. So Pittsburgh better watch out, okay? And the Islanders too. They're not that far ahead. You've got a couple of teams nipping at their heels trying to get in. So they're going to have to continue to play well if they're going to keep Florida and Ottawa out of the race, right? Buffalo and Detroit. Now those two teams are the ones I thought might squeak in there. 68 points and 67 points respectively. So they're not that far out either. I mean, if they started to get on a long win streak here and the other teams ahead of them started to stumble, they could even possibly squeeze in. Probably not going to happen, but you never know, right? I mean, it's crazy. It's pretty close out there in the East. I don't know. Florida has won 4 out of 5. That's how hot they are right now, and they're going to, Pittsburgh needs to watch out. Ottawa has won 6 out of their last 7, guys. So this injury to Talbot hopefully won't derail them, but talk about a team that's coming on strong and trying to make a push. They've won 6 out of 7 games. So the Ottawa Senators, I really hope they make it, like I said before. So anyways, there's your Eastern Conference. If we get into the West, okay, the Western Conference, we're talking about the Central Division, the Dallas Stars. The Dallas Stars are sitting at 83 points. And you see the disparity here between the East and the West. The East is definitely the better of the conferences right now as far as teams. They're just, Boston, Carolina, those teams, New Jersey, New York, Toronto. They're just doing so much better consistently out there than the West. The West, and I think a lot of it too, getting a little off subject here, is the West, there's a lot more travel involved. In the East, it's easier to get to these other cities and play. Whereas in the West, there's a lot of long distance traveling that kind of, I think that has it wears you down a little bit as a team to have a lot of travel when other teams can spend more time practicing and resting. I just think it always has. I think the West has always had a little bit more difficult because of the long travel. But long story short, let's get back into the Central here. Dallas has 83 points. Not far behind them are the Minnesota Wild, who just recently lost Kaprizov. He is injured for I think it was 3 to 4 weeks or something like that. But the Wild have 81 points, so they are right there. Now, if Kirill and his point production, he leads the team in goals and everything else. If that affects their ability to, this is where the depth comes in, right? You need depth. A guy like that goes down, you got to be able to step up as a team or have somebody fill his void. If the Wild can't do that, they might slowly start to fall back, because Colorado is right there with 5 points behind the Wild with 76 points. So we'll see if losing Kaprizov is going to affect them in a negative way as we get closer to the playoffs right now. So anyways, Wild have 81, Colorado Avalanche 76, coming on strong. There's your top three in the Central. In the Pacific Division, the Vegas Golden Knights and the LA Kings are tied, 84 points apiece in the Pacific. And Seattle is only the Seattle Kraken, okay? The Seattle Kraken, everybody. They're only 4 points back of those two teams with 80 points. So fun to see Seattle doing well in only their second season. But it's the Pacific is heated up a little bit with LA and Vegas. The Jonathan Quick trade out of LA to Columbus, but then immediately flipped over to the Golden Knights. Quick has made a new home for himself. It's interesting. Here's an interesting scenario for you, and then we'll keep going. Vegas and Kings playoffs. Holy crap, would that be cool? Jonathan Quick playing for the Golden Knights against his former team that he's won cups with. Players that he's played and won cups with and had a brotherhood, if you will, like Drew Doughty and Anze Kopitar. Holy crap, would that be interesting to see? Oh, man. Anyways, the dynamics of the playoffs and players, it's fun. So there's your top three in the Pacific. Here's your wild card side, Western Conference. Edmonton coming on strong. Connor McDavid, Hart Trophy written all over this guy with his points production. They have 80 points. So they're coming on. They're tied with Seattle for points. Seattle's got, they've played less games, so that's why they're still third, and Edmonton's a wild card. But the way the Edmonton Oilers are playing, I wouldn't be surprised if you see them pass the Kraken and catch Vegas and the Kings. I'm not kidding. This is kind of the same scenario that played out last season. Edmonton came on strong in the second half of the season, especially late, made their way into the playoffs and went to the Western Conference Final. They ended up losing to Colorado, of course, but it's almost kind of the same things happening again. Edmonton is coming on very strong, but they have 80 points. I have a feeling they're going to move into the top three at some point when the season comes to an end. Edmonton's going to be in that top three in the Pacific. And you'll probably see Seattle drop into that wild card spot, but that's Edmonton. And then hanging on for dear life are the Winnipeg Jets. The Winnipeg Jets were actually doing very well. They were up there with the Dallas Stars in the Central. They have fallen now to 75 points, and they're holding on to that second wild card spot. Just on the outside, trying to get in, are the Calgary Flames and the Nashville Predators. The Flames have 71 points. Nashville has 69. I don't see Nashville making it. I just don't. Calgary, maybe. If the Jets continue to downward spiral and Calgary can continue to win, they have been winning and playing better. They lost to the Anaheim Ducks just last night, but doesn't matter. Calgary, if they get back on their horse and continue to put up some point production, and Winnipeg continues to kind of falter, you might see a switch there, and Winnipeg ends up falling out of the playoffs. That would be interesting. But there you go. Edmonton is coming on strong. I mentioned that before. They have won 4 out of their last 5, including a 3-2 win over the Boston Bruins in Boston at TD Garden. So pretty impressive stuff. Like I said, Edmonton is making a huge push. Matthias Ekholm, they acquired him at the trade deadline from Nashville, has solidified their defense and helped a lot, which is where they needed to get help. Okay, going to the trade deadline, they were linked to every defenseman on the planet. Edmonton was, and they ended up landing Ekholm, which I think is a huge addition to that defensive core. And right now with Connor McDavid and Draisaitl and these guys, they are rolling. Okay, rolling. Colorado is making their push. They don't have Landeskog right now. Okay, their captain is out, so it'll be interesting to see how they do with not having him. But they've been playing well. Colorado has won 6. They did win 6 straight. Okay, they were making a huge push. They've kind of faltered a little bit. They've been struggling the last few games. They just haven't been playing their normal selves. But if they can start to pick it back up, the Colorado Avalanche are the team to watch for sure. The Jets, like I talked about, how they're just barely hanging on. They are 2-8 in their last 10 games. Only 2 wins in the last 10 games. So that's not good. You can see that's why they've fallen from the top of the Central up there with Dallas all the way down to the second wildcard spot. So they need to figure it out, man. Need to figure it out. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. So playoffs, that's all I got on the Western Conference. But the playoffs are almost here. Like I said, today is Saturday the 11th. The playoffs start probably, second half of April. We'll start to see the playoffs pick up. And so we're really a little over a month away before this stuff really starts going. So this is it. This is go time. This is the race to the end. Some teams are locks. They're in. It's just a matter of what position will they end up in, right? And then other teams are trying to get in, and they're pushing hard. And there's some teams like the Anaheim Ducks that can play spoilers, right? So it's fun to watch. Interesting stuff. Definitely watch as much hockey as you can, guys. It is the best sport on the planet. And as always, I always end my videos with, I want to blow this channel up, and I don't have anything unless you guys support me in it, right? I can do this and do this and do this, but if I don't get your support and you go down there and smash that like button for me and subscribe to the channel so you can watch my content as it comes out and keep this channel going, it'll help me to blow it up and make it just a huge thing. So, and that's all I really want. I love talking hockey, and I need your help to do it. So help me out. Go do that. As always, too, after you subscribe and smash that like button, go down there and comment. Let me know what you think. Tell me what team you like. Tell me anything. Comment on disagree, agree, whatever the case may be. But as always, thanks for watching. I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks again.